of cleaning the house unless I've chosen an entertainment option up to the task of distracting me. The selection will often take far longer than the chore itself, but I'm not going in without one. We have an insatiable appetite for entertainment, but more than that, we now want to experience exactly the content we feel like experiencing in the format that suits the activity we're pairing it with and the environment we're in. For those of us who enjoy documentaries and long-form journalism but don't have a lot of time to sit still and watch or read something, the podcast was an absolute life changer. No peak hour commute, waiting room, solo trip or boring chore has ever been the same. In 2014, journalist Sarah Koenig introduced the world to Hae Min Lee in the weekly podcast Serial. Hae was a senior at Woodlawn High School in Baltimore in 1999. Like many of her friends, including her former boyfriend Adnan Syed, Hae kept secrets from her strict immigrant parents as she tried to navigate life as an American teenager, all of which made for compelling fodder when Koenig came to investigate Adnan's conviction for Hae's murder. Week after week, Serial unfolded in meticulous detail. It was at times a story of typical, if cringeworthy, teenage drama and intrigue. We felt the flush of first love in Hae's swooning diary entries detailing her devotion to Adnan. We admired the convoluted ingenuity they employed to speak nightly on the home phone without Hae's mother ever knowing, despite the many obstacles she'd placed in their way. In the end, though, none of it mattered for the two young people at the heart of the story. Neither of them could be protected by their parents from the evils of the world, and neither would graduate high school alongside their classmates. Hae would be discovered in a shallow grave in Baltimore's Leakin Park, a notoriously popular site for the dumping of bodies, and Adnan would spend the rest of his life in the prison system for leaving her there. For her part, Sarah Koenig did much more than just recount this tragic story. She presented many disturbing failings in the investigation. The case against Syed and the defence provided for him by his attorney, Cristina Gutierrez, who was subsequently disbarred following complaints from multiple clients. Rather than pander to an imagined audience of goldfish-brained listeners who couldn't possibly sit still and focus for more than a couple of minutes, Koenig and her team dived deep on the details and demanded that we keep up. Serial has been downloaded roughly 175 million times and counting. It has spawned several spin-off documentary series and books, and the world still seems split down the middle as to the guilt or innocence of Adnan Syed. As for the attention span of the audience, the passion and clarity with which every aspect of evidence and testimony continues to be debated by fans of the podcast is truly peak internet. Not to mention the hours invested in understanding cell tower ping technology as it stood in 1999. To Google the Nisha call, the Best Buy payphone, or Jay Wilds is to plunge oneself down a rabbit hole for experienced players only. Beginners' questions will not be tolerated. Serial changed the media landscape in many ways, but the choosing of a true crime story was surely no accident for Koenig's seasoned team. When considering this audacious project, they no doubt hedged their bets on the naturally engaging nature of the true crime genre. Why is it so engaging? Because at the end of the day, it's about the explosive emotion that lurks within us all. We fear it, and we're fascinated by it. Someone wrapped their hands around Hae Min Lee's neck and strangled her to death within minutes of engaging with her that day. An 18-year-old schoolgirl. She could only have arrived at their meeting minutes before the attack. Did they plan it? Is that why they asked her to meet them? Or was it an argument that quickly spiralled out of control? What could possibly have precipitated such violence? Whoever is responsible, these questions still remain. That could never be me, we say, and yet inside we wonder if it could. We hear these stories about other people, some of whom we can convince ourselves are so very unlike us, but some of whom really are not. And we wonder, what would it take? Victim or perpetrator, what would it take for me to end up in that position? Would it take rage, jealousy,